Hi there, everybody. So remember that video a few days ago that I showed you all leapfrogging in? If you didn't watch that one, you should. It'll be linked in the description below. Basically, it's about an efficient way of pathing around your chart. Well, I said in that video that I'd be exploring some other options for potentially min-maxing the chart a little bit further, and I found one that I think is interesting. I haven't really played with it set up very much because getting it set up in the first place, as you can see staring at the chart here, does take a bit of doing. So I want to see exactly how rewarding it feels to now run with the chart set up and blocked a bit. But it is essentially blocking in the same way that, it's in the same sort of vein as like building an Elder Loop or Sextant blocking or something. So if that kind of thing is something that doesn't really interest you at all, and in fact maybe something that makes you frustrated and angry, this may not be a strategy you want to employ. But if it's something that interests you and you find it fun or intriguing at the very least to manipulate systems in this way, then I would very much suggest that you give this a try. Essentially, what we've done here is we've shrunken down the chart so that rewards are forced to spawn closer to the memory nexus, which is obviously our starting point here. As you can see, we've built these structures in the corners here, and these structures will efficiently cut out a decent, well, I say efficiently, they're not super efficient, but they'll cut out a decent amount of spots on the chart from being places where rewards can spawn. Rewards can only spawn within this sort of large rectangle here, as you can see. And so you can kind of consider there to be an invisible boundary around here. And a reward, when it spawns, will do its best to spawn in a way so that you're able to actually go and claim it. So that means that if a reward spawns here against this invisible wall, it won't spawn pointing this way, because you can't go get that. And it won't spawn pointing this way. And as you can then make the leap of logic, that means that a reward won't spawn in these two spots here. And obviously it can't spawn on top of any of the places where we've placed a piece. So if we place these 7 pieces in each corner like this, we get to cut off 9 squares from each corner, and you could theoretically do this to all 4 and shrink your chart down even further. I've only done it to 3, and I plan on hunting rewards over here, so hunting for memory modifiers and hunting for reward pieces over here, while building a investment over here of pieces that I'm throwing memory modifiers at. And the reason why I haven't gone for the full 4 is partially because this is a mess over here, and in order to build the structure I would have to clean it up, and that's just a headache I don't really want to deal with, but mostly because you have a limited number of memories you can have placed at a time, only up to 40, and having these down in these corners permanently, blocking those corners from being places where rewards can spawn, means that I have 21 placed all the time. At least if I were to place another 7, I'd have 28. It would leave me with only 12 to path around with. If I want to then place down a cross of a few pieces in order to invest into them using memory modifiers, that then leaves me with even fewer to path around with, and that just gets awkward. So I think having 3 corners blocked might be ideal, maybe even only having 1. I think some amount of blocking is correct, though, because you really don't need 40 pieces to path around the chart with. And even if you just set up a single corner worth of blocking, you are slightly improving your odds of having memory rewards spawn in places that are easier to reach, and you never have to touch these again. This is a one-time investment that's made on a per-character basis, so that is kind of the opportunity cost. I can't go play another character and use the fact that I've invested into this chart on that build. I do have to keep playing this build, but if you intend to play a build for a long time, and you intend to do a lot of memory mapping, blocking a corner, 2 corners, 3 corners, going out as far as you feel is worthwhile, could be something that you might want to consider. And again, this is the structure that you want to put into a corner. The farthest flung piece is going to be 7 steps away from your nexus, and then you build this sort of half cross sideways T sort of shape. And just make sure that none of these pieces have connections pointing in or out, and they're all locked into each other, because otherwise then our memory reward could spawn connected to one of those nodes and you wouldn't be able to go and claim it. So you want to go for this shape. These corner pieces can be straight or corner pieces that point towards one of these imaginary walls, and thankfully it is pretty easy to see where those walls are because of the cornering that I've done. So hopefully that was a strategy that made sense. It's a little bit esoteric. It's hard to wrap your head around initially, but that's kind of a description of the chart as a whole. And I'm going to play some more with this chart over the next few days, and I'll be able to report back on YouTube here in a few days how much of an impact I feel like it's had. And if you don't want to set up your own chart until you've heard my feedback, that's probably the correct move, because in the end, it was a few hours worth of setup time. It took like 3 or 4 hours to set this up, and it may very well only very slightly improve my odds of getting reward pieces closer to me, and having the chart feel better to navigate. I'll see you guys in the next one, though. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to catch me in the stream sometime. See you then.